What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? T to the M to the IDD, and I'm back with another video, 5 things you should know about natural light photography. Now, these things are going to be both actual physical things and intangible things because I think they work well together. And if you know, a lot of us start off with natural light photography because it doesn't require much of anything. However, I feel as though these things that I do mention will be helpful tools if you ever find yourself in certain situations while dealing with natural light. So the first thing, it's going to sound really cliche, but I believe knowing your camera's in and out, and actually down to understanding how to manipulate your settings. You can always start with auto mode, but I definitely warn you, and I actually challenge you to start to understand what those settings mean so that you can go into manual mode and provide more flexibility for whatever photography shoot you are doing. Knowing your settings can be the difference between you having complete control and you having to be stuck with images that you do not like because you cannot manipulate the lighting as you would like. Which, this goes into the second thing. The second thing is understanding lighting. We might not know about lighting immediately when we start photography, right? But there are different lighting situations and different scenarios for every type of photo shoot that you want. So understanding that lighting can help you with some of these other tools that I'm going to mention if you find yourself in this predicament. Now, if you understand light, then one thing I would say is a tip with certain lighting situations, like if you had a situation where your subject was backlit by the sun, and 9 times out of 10, whenever you take a photo, you want to take that photo a little underexposed. And that is because you can then take that photo in Photoshop, GIMP, Lightroom, whatever photo editing software that you use, and then recover most of the detail in there. Because highlights are a little bit more harder or a little bit more difficult to recover than if you shoot underexposed. Cameras nowadays have a nice dynamic range where you can recover a lot of detail when you shoot in RAW, which is another great tip. You can shoot in RAW. Myself, I shoot in RAW plus JPEG. Doesn't cost you a thing. So now, those are the 2 intangible things I feel like you should know about natural light photography. Now let's get into 3 tangible physical things that I feel like would help you in natural light photography, and I'll give you a little bit of a spiel as to why I feel as such. The first thing, a reflector. A reflector. When you want to bounce light, a reflector will be your best friend. I promise you, it will allow you to bend light as you want it. Or if you just need fill light, you have some shadows that you don't like, pop in a reflector and you can fill in those shadows. Now, like I said, these things aren't absolutely necessary, but they can help you in your time of need. So just having it, if you like doing natural light because of the ease of it, meaning you don't have to bring a lot of things like off-camera flash, a reflector is lightweight and won't cost you too much more in terms of weight. So a reflector can be really helpful for those times you need to bend light. The second thing is a scrim. A scrim will help you in those situations where you may have a client that wants to shoot in high noon and you may not be able to find even lighting to save your life. A scrim will allow you to get some type of even lighting by blocking out the sun, causing a shadow on your subject and providing even light on your subject. Now you can also do that with other things like trees and other places with high foliage, but as you start to understand lighting, that's when you be able to be more meticulous in the way that you shoot, the times that you shoot, and when you understand lighting, you can pick out those certain scenarios to get the best portraits. And of course, that comes with experience, practice, so I encourage you to go out and shoot. Now, the last thing is a ND filter. Now, the reason why I say a ND filter is because a ND filter can be valuable in cases where it is very, very sunny. Your settings are maxed out to 1/8,000th of a second. Your f-stop is at f16, and it's just that much light actually coming into your lens. And so in that scenario, you might have a case where you don't really care about the shutter speed, which hence this goes back to the first thing, understanding your camera and understanding your settings. But if you want to have that nice bokeh in the photo, then ideally you would want your f-stop to be open as wide as possible, which could be f1.4, f1.2 if you have those nice expensive lenses, and typically a 50mm comes in at f1.8 with a pretty decent cost for most camera brands, but you would want it to be at f1.8. And so what an ND filter actually does is acts as a sunglass for your camera lens and prevents that amount of light coming into your camera so that you can achieve those settings that you want for a particular shot. Now, again, that is why I say you need to understand your camera and understand settings. What do settings mean? Because certain settings will give you a certain look. And once you know that, you know what your camera settings need to be, you know what your lighting situation need to be. And these are tools like the ND filter that will help you achieve those settings to get that particular shot. So as you learn and grow into photography, these are all things that you can use to help you get those shots that you are looking for and help you be able to shoot in any type of environment. Some people are shooting in harsh light, which they make look flattering, but other people like nice, evenly lit background, foregrounds, and subjects, so they may shoot at a different time or just find a place that is really shaded and has even lighting, or may shoot when it's cloudy, overcast, so that you get a nice diffusion layer acting from the clouds and providing you even light. So you have all those scenarios, but that is 5 things I feel like you should know about natural light photography, and you should consider adding to your toolkit and thinking about if you have not done so already. All of those things that I've mentioned are lightweight and will not add much to your kit if you're going out and shooting. An ND filter can go on your lens, or if you are into mirrorless cameras, you actually have an ND filter that you can place over top of your sensor so that you don't have to change your ND filter for each lens that you have. So these are all things I feel like you should consider for natural light photography. If you haven't checked out my other videos on off-camera flash, check out my page, check out off-camera flash, 5 things. I hope this was informative for you. Going out, create, and remember to practice, practice, practice. T to the M to the IDD. Peace.